Hello. Hey.
Welcome to Two Girls, One Pod. I'm Melissa.
I'm Crystal.
And Crystal, it's so good to see. It's just it's two girls, one pod.
Actually, two girls on one pod. It's crazy. It's so weird.
Yeah, we don't have 7 other people here. Actually, the funny thing is, last time we recorded, it was like 2 weeks ago, was probably the most people we've had on the pod, but you weren't on the pod because you were sick.
Dude, I had the COVID.
How are you doing now?
Not bad. But it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I wasn't the sickest in the house. Jason was the sickest, honestly.
Yeah.
Man, sick. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's always 10 times worse.
But he actually did. He was worse than me. He had a fever. Like I had a fever for maybe like a day and a half, 2 days, but he just kept like getting it come back, and he was getting all kinds of symptoms that I wasn't getting. So like his back was really bad. Like he was in a lot of pain. Like his whole body was in pain.
Rough.
Yeah.
Okay. Not to make light of it, but also to make light of it and poke a little fun at Jason. Isn't it because it's supposed to hit you worse when you're older?
Maybe. Maybe it's the over 40 crowd. It just makes it worse.
That might be what it is. I'm just saying. But well, I'm glad you guys are both on the mend. How's he feeling now? He's better?
Yeah, he's better. But yeah. Sorry, I'm playing with my light. But then, I was finding a hard time catching my breath, and then he was kind of the same way, more or less. And then today I went to the gym.
Woo! Shout out.
Yep. And I was just like, I was on the treadmill, I was going good, but then when I got out of the gym and I sat in the car, I was coughing uncontrollably. And even now I feel like I'm just trying to stifle coughing because there's a bark in there somewhere.
Yeah. Your lungs are like, we're not healed yet. Stop running.
Yeah, but suck it up, lungs, because we got shit to be at. So
fucking life to train for. So let's just jump right in. This is going to be another Big Brother after show episode. So if you don't listen to Big Brother, I don't know what to tell you. That's what we're going to talk about. So, you can keep listening to us, put us on mute, check back in, whatever. But this week, so let's start off with last week or Monday. Okay. This has just been crazy. I feel like we haven't been giving this season the credit it deserves or like the attention it deserves because it's been such an insane season, but we've just been so busy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't been able to kind of get together like we normally would. So last week or Monday, Jess wins the HOH, which was really fucking cool HOH, by the way.
It was, yeah.
I loved seeing the old house guests in this season's house. Like they were old legends, and they were in. What was cool is that they put all the old house guests, not every house guest, of course, but like just like who would be considered legends in their iconic, legendary moments of the house.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they recreated it, which was really cool. And then the house guests had 2 minutes.
I think so, something like that. Yeah,
2 minutes to like run through these 5 doors and open up 5 like old house guests. And I mean, a lot of them are super fans. So they're looking at these old house guests and you're supposed to memorize the box that they're all in because that's what the questions are going to be.
Yeah.
And half the house guests were just so starstruck looking at the old house guests that they forgot a lot. They forgot what they were supposed to be paying attention to.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a hard, I think it was a hard competition. They definitely, it was easy to get distracted, and it definitely did that for quite a few of them.
Oh, absolutely. Like I was watching that going, this would be because there was also so much to memorize. This isn't something that they've been looking at every day. Like the stuff in the pantry, they've had time to study. But this is literally like they didn't even know who was going to be behind the door, let alone what color shirt and shoelaces they had on and like what their little bubbles were saying and
what color balloons were in there.
Yeah, right. Like the questions are super, super hard. You have to really remember them. And the questions that they ask might just be like a one-off.
Yeah.
trick you, right? So it was a hard HOH game. So Jess, you know what I thought was so funny? She won it with 11-11. You know how
I
we're
know.
always talking about angel numbers? I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
that was a good one to
No,
get.
she got it.
She got it.
Yeah.
So she wins HOH. She nominates Moose and Herman. Okay. Here's my issue.
I
Jess
can't wait to hear it.
is driving me.
Jess?
So yeah, I don't think she's playing the worst game, but her demeanor, I think she's someone that I would have a hard time getting along with if I were inside the house, because like, it's not even her demeanor. She just comes across, and maybe it's the edit, I don't know, but she comes across as a very angry, unhappy person.
I do have a note here to say that she's also pissing me off.
Yeah.
I feel like part of my issue with her is that I'm not enjoying the constant fucking poor me thing.
Thank you.
Because that's what it's like almost everything feels like and don't get me wrong, like maybe she's always felt left out, so that's kind of the role that she's taken on in life.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep saying she, but I mean they. I'm going to.
But the pronouns, because that was one thing I was wondering, because a lot of people in the house refer to Jess as they.
Right.
The pronouns that she said in her bio on Big
Was
Brother,
she and they.
she and they. So that's why, that's why I've been saying she. It's more of a selfish reason for me, because I think whenever I think they, it's plural for me in my head.
Yeah,
So
of course.
talking about somebody who's non-binary. Oh my God, Melissa, wake up.
Binary. Non-binary.
Binary. Whenever I'm talking about somebody who's non-binary, I usually do use the they pronouns or whatever their preferred pronouns are. But in this situation, because Jess has said that she's okay with
she's
they
okay
and she, that's what I've been using.
Okay.
But they is also acceptable because that's what they go by.
Right.
So, yeah.
Continue.
Little side step.
I don't know. I just feel like everything is like, oh, does anybody want to talk to me in here? And it just makes me just want to vomit.
Pity party. And I find her very, very pity party for me, but then also really like
very standoffish
and really offended by everything. Like Herman dancing up onto the block.
Yeah.
I don't see any other HOH looking at that as like offensive. Like to me,
no,
that's, you can tell that that's his personality. Like that's how he has been carrying himself through the entire game. That's just who he is. He's very animated. He seems like a very happy person. So like, he's getting nominated to go on the block. That's awkward. That's awkward as fuck. It's like, by the way, I want you to go home, or I at least want you 50% of you to go home. Like I'm putting it against somebody else. So he's going to dance up to the block, kind of make like a bit of a show about it, because I'd
probably do the same.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
So the fact that irked her so much, to me, I was like, dude, you can't control his walk,
But you know what it is? Neither one of them like each other.
Yeah.
They literally both dislike each other greatly.
Yeah.
Like you can tell. Yeah. In fact, he's kind of pissing me off too.
Oh, I'm obsessed with it. He's my favorite in the whole house. Favorite.
Oh no, he's getting on my nerves. I'm just like,
I don't want him to win because I didn't pick him in our pool that we have. Anybody listening? We allegedly have a Big Brother pool going on with money on the line. And so Summer is my pick, and I think she's in a great spot. But Herman is like my favorite right now to watch. So I don't want him to win because I want to win money. Right. But I would totally be fine if he won the entire game at this stage.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something like he's rubbing me the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it his happiness? Do you not like Jess because she's like not happy enough, and don't like Herman because he's too happy?
Right. Somebody find me the middle ground. No, it's not. It's not his happiness. It's that he's super cocky, and it just pisses me right off.
See, I don't find him cocky. I think he's got there is a thin line, but I think he's more on the confident side as opposed to the cocky side.
No, I find him more on the cocky side.
Anyway, I love him. He's my favorite. So
I don't even know, honestly, if I even really have. Actually, that's not true. I do have a favorite. And of course, my pick was already given the boot. Boobs McGee is gone. So
I felt bad. Well, you know what? That was good TV though when Steph went home.
it was really good.
But yeah, she was legit blindsided.
Well, Jason says to me, he's like, why would you pick her? And I'm just like, because it was the bottom of the fucking barrel.
Yeah, you had like, because we have in our alleged pool, we have 16 people, like one person per house guest. We all get to pick one person, and we had to draw names of like the order that you pick. And Crystal, you were like
14.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah. So it was, I was scraping the bottom at that point.
You know what though? I don't think, I mean, obviously, yes, she was a bad pick because she's gone home. However, I definitely think she had potential.
I do too.
I really feel like she's someone who probably could have pulled it out in the later half of the game. It's the name of the game. We didn't get to see her there. So
no, exactly. Such as life.
But yeah, so Jess nominates Moose and Herman. She gives, good reasons for each. Like her and Herman clearly don't like each other. He nominated her. Like they've got a thing going. I didn't love, so last week when she was trying to get them to give her a reason not to put them up, she was like, name names. And her mom was like, I'm not going to give you a name of anybody. Like, we're not close. You're putting me up anyway. And she's like, well, maybe I won't put you up. Give me some names. And he didn't do it. And I thought that was smart because he would have just put him up anyway. Case in point, Moose named names. Moose is like, put up Kevin or Helena because they're floaters or this or that, or that's better for your game.
Oh, Kevin and Betty.
No.
And she went right to Betty.
Yes. And she turned and she went right to Betty, told Betty what she said. And Betty, oh, I love Betty so much. I don't think she's going to do well as a player, but I just love watching her on TV. Like it's
so comical. But like, sidestep on that, the shock of my life when I realized afterwards, again, because of course I never went back to look at the bios afterwards, like after we did our picks kind of thing, but I was just like, what? She worked in HR? How the fuck does she handle herself?
I was thinking the same thing. I was like,
that doesn't seem like a good fit.
Of all the something's not right there.
I was just like, how does she? It doesn't even make sense. I'm like, she literally a couple weeks back, like looks at friggin' Kevin, and she was like,
I hate you.
I hate you. I
do hate you.
I do. Yeah, right. And I was just like, this doesn't seem HR appropriate at all.
No, the gloves are off. Well, now she's not business B right now.
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
That's what it is.
Money in this house. She's like,
exactly.
This is me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just thought that was so funny because like Jess said to Moose, give me a name. Moose gave her a name. She went to the name and told them, and then Moose got in hot water and he got put on the block anyway.
Yeah.
So it was smart for her mom not to say anything. And Moose, I'm kind of sad that he didn't. I don't know if he did. We didn't see it in the edit. Smooth things over with Betty because I feel like he very much could have smoothed things over with her once she was, de-escalated a little, and he tried. In like the next morning, he wakes up and he was like, "Whoa, was Summer snoring a lot last night?" And Betty's just right off the hop, "Don't talk to me."
Right?
Okay, I'm not fighting with Betty.
No. Not getting on her bad side.
Yeah. So anyway, I thought that was really funny.
It was.
I made a note that Josh has a final two with Marty, Jess, Herman, Betty, and did he mention one other person I didn't write down?
I don't think so. I think that was it. I think he only named 4, and I was just like, so everybody.
Yeah. So he seems to be in a good place in the house.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to stay there because
someone's going to find out.
Yeah, and in the position that he's in, he was gunning for that veto. Like it was neck and neck. It was almost not neck and neck. Like he almost won by a landslide and then he just couldn't get the last part. And he said if he had to win the veto, he wouldn't have used it because he wanted to kind of maintain relationship with Jess and not Herman. Like if he had to win that veto, he's showing his cards to somebody. So
Yep.
I don't think that was a smart play on his behalf to try. I mean, he didn't get it, so he's fine.
It
But
worked
like,
out.
he's gonna keep playing the game this way. He's gonna end up showing his cards too soon. And I don't think he's gonna be as comfortable as what he is for very long.
Well, I think the other side of that is also the fact that he has an alliance with Jess. I think that she is a problem because how many friggin' alliances that she has on the go has she already outed? She
She's a
literally
sinking
just
ship.
she just keeps telling everybody everything. I'm like, shut your mouth. Like,
Yeah.
like
And you know what? That's so surprising to me because she is a gamer.
I
Like,
know.
like she is a gamer. This is what she does. I don't know for a living or what, but like she plays games. Like she
Yeah.
strategizes ahead of time. And it seems
Mhm.
like every time, yeah, she turns around, she's telling somebody else what another person said or who she's in an alliance with. Like she told
Yeah.
Helena
Helena.
that her and Summer and she's not in an alliance with Helena. Like, what are you doing?
What?
You know,
Exactly.
she said she's been on an island by herself and now she's got HOH and she's got some kind of power. And I think I've been hearing a little bit of people saying that it's like a Kyle 2.0. I
Mm,
don't think it's that drastic
no.
as a Kyle 2.0, but I definitely think that the power has gone to her head a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I was sitting there going, like, when she's talking to Helena, I'm like, did she have this discussion with Kevin, who is her number one, supposedly? But then also, I'm like, he is playing her so hard,
I
honestly.
enjoy Kevin a lot.
Listen, I think he is doing a wonderful job
Yeah.
of playing everybody in the house. I think he's playing a great game. He is flying under the radar. Do I also think that he reminds me of some cartoon character that I can't put my finger on? Absolutely.
Who's thinking?
I'm like, was it Doug? No, that's
No,
not right. There's
not Doug.
somebody. No. Anyway, I'll figure it out by the end of season. Maybe we'll see how it
Hopefully,
goes.
before he goes home. Here's the thing. I
Maybe
think Kevin could go a very far way
I
in
do
the
too.
game, but I don't think he's going to win unless he can start pulling out some comps. Now we're still early. It's still early in the season, but right now he is behind the scenes pulling all the strings.
Mhm.
But we've seen how many people have we seen take second place because it's like you forget when you're in the house. Yeah, I'm pulling all the strings, but the people outside watching the game are the only ones who know that. So
Yeah,
it makes it to final two. He's going to have to be able to articulate why he should win and what it is he's actually doing behind the scenes, unless he can start pulling out a couple of comp wins.
yeah,
In which case that'll help his game because like he's got to be hopefully depending on the jury, because we don't know who's going to be in jury. I think so far, this is the type of cast that would have a bitter jury. So far, like this
yeah,
cast is intense. So, but like hopefully they're not bitter, but I would imagine that whoever is in the jury house would want to get the most well-rounded winner. So,
mhm.
unless he starts pulling out some comp wins in the second half, if he makes it there, I don't know if final two, if he would walk away with first so
Yeah.
far.
I do agree with you though with the emotional player side of things. It seems like this house is stacked with them, honestly,
Oh yeah.
because I mean, like, while Jess seems very
Jess is crazy emotional. Don't you
yeah,
even.
no, but like she kind of like has this like almost stoic type of look to her, but
Yeah.
yet super emotional,
Yep.
super run by emotions for sure.
Like
And
makes
then
all of her decisions based on emotions.
yeah, and then I find Herman is also very
Oh,
emotional because I mean, just look how he was getting on in like the room and then in the pantry. You're just like, don't come in here and talk to me. I'm like, fuck off, Herman. Like,
I'm obsessed with Herman. He's my favorite of the season. Like
and then
hands
well,
down, him and Summer are like my people. Like they are hands down my favorites.
Jason is counting the days until Summer goes home.
I knew she was either going to be, she is a hit or miss. You're going to love her or hate her.
Yeah.
I want to know what her coworker thinks. I'm dying to know because she applied for Big Brother. Do you know this story?
No.
She applied for Big Brother because one of her coworkers who she didn't get along with is obsessed with Big Brother.
Oh.
So she applied for the show and went through everything because she just wanted to be petty and be like, now I'm on your favorite TV show. Oh, you don't like me? Now I'm on your favorite TV show. So I'm dying to know how her coworker is doing. And if she's watching the show every day being like, fuck you. Like,
maybe she boycotted it.
Oh, I don't know, man. I just think that's so cool. I don't know.
That's funny.
Like,
I do like that.
Right? I love Summer.
I'm still indifferent. I think that she's playing a pretty good game though.
She is, yeah.
Yeah.
She is playing a really good social game. Again, with her, I don't know if she would have what it takes to win if she got to final two, but I can see her pulling out more wins than Kevin.
Oh, for sure.
Like a lot of these competitions, Summer doesn't seem to want to win, and neither does Kevin, but I feel like Summer physically just kind of like she's tiny. She's just light. Like I feel like she would be able to physically win more competitions than Kevin.
Probably. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. And then we get the reveal of the Ghost Alliance.
Oh, okay. Best name ever.
Seriously.
Best name ever. Like most of these alliance names, I'm like, that's stupid. That's dumb. Hate that. Whatever.
That one's good.
But yeah, I absolutely love that. So the Ghost Alliance is Kevin and Helena because they're both not seen.
Yeah.
Right.
It was good.
They're under wraps. They're, they're essentially pulling the strings, but nobody can see them. Yeah. I skipped on some of these notes I made. We've already kind of talked through them. What did you think about Herman saying not to pick Gino to play veto? Do you think that's just because he thinks Gino would use the veto on Moose, or do you think that he just thinks that Gino wouldn't use the veto?
I think he probably just thinks that Gino wouldn't use the veto, I just think that he wouldn't use it for him specifically. I think probably there's still a little bit of residual about him turning the house, and he was worried that if he picked him, he wouldn't save him anyway, so it'd be a waste.
Yeah. And I even think if JC Lynn was on the fucking block, I still don't know if Gino would use the veto. I think he's just this, I want to just make everybody happy, go with the flow. Like he's not playing a bad game, but I don't think he would have what it takes to use a veto. Like I think if they have a fucking secret power veto this season, it will be wasted on Gino if he gets it.
I don't know though. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I know the whole house wanted Kyle out, but like even still, that took a lot for somebody to, for him to have him as a friend. It was a good game move.
Yeah. But absolutely.
It definitely was.
But I still don't see him using like a veto.
To kind of rock the boat.
Move. Yeah, but like if you're gonna use it for somebody on the block, like okay, maybe Jason, like you do have to be like this to use a veto for someone on the block that isn't yourself. And because it can piss off a lot of people. And whenever you do use the veto, you don't know who's going up in the veto's place. In that person's place. So that's the thing with veto. It's like if you use it to haul somebody down, somebody else is going up. So even though you're not HOH, you're potentially getting blood on your hands just from the residual effects. Yeah. So I just don't see Gino using a veto, period, for that reason. Because I
feel like if it was me, I would just use all the vetoes. If I won veto, I'd just use the veto because I'd be like, fuck everything up. Let's see what happens.
Thank you. And you know what it is? It's the fan players. This is why it's so essential to throw super fans into the game, like Kyle, because he gives us good TV, right? Like that was a messy HOH, but man, like I would like to see the ratings for that week because it was fucking really good. Yeah. And like there's nothing more exciting than when there's two people on the block and the HOH is like everything's going my way, and then somebody wins veto and they're like, not today, chief, and then just take somebody down. And now fucking, what are you going to do? Somebody else has to go up, and it's way better. Yeah, so, it is. I hope that I hope.
But of course, that's the risk of it, because then it's like, well, next week I'm on the block because I fucked shit up.
Oh yeah. But if you've got, I feel like if you've got a good enough social game,
Yeah.
then you should be able to recover from it, right? And I mean, the cool thing about this season is that we have not had 1 week go by where a nominee hasn't won veto.
Mm.
Literally every single time somebody was nominated this entire season, one of the nominees won veto and took themselves down, and there has to be a replacement nominee. There's like
Right.
4 people in the house who haven't been nominated.
That's amazing.
Isn't that like, this is a crazy fucking season?
Yeah.
Ugh. Okay. Speaking of veto and the results that we just talked about,
Right.
Herman, Moose, JC Lynn, Josh, and Marty all play for the veto. And man, Herman was gunning for it. Like, he was miles ahead of everybody, balancing these little, the game was like, you had to find tags with your clothes on, put on these outfits, and then shop through this winner's store essentially.
Yeah.
And up like your price tags to your items, like find the items that are the same price, and then balance it on a pedestal with a little stick. Because Big Brother Canada, just
like hardcore.
So anyway, her mom was like on top of everything. Like, he was miles ahead of the competition until he got to the balancing part. And then he started knocking things over more so.
Yeah.
Josh caught up, and Josh sped ahead of him, almost won the fucking veto, got like 8 out of 9 items, and was working on his last item while her mom was over getting like 4 more and just sped past him and won. It was, I had butterflies. It was intense.
Yeah, it was. It was crazy.
Yeah. So Herman wins, and he fucking dances around the whole backyard. He shakes Jess's hand. He gets extremely manic. Crystal's rotted watching him. I loved it. I wish we were together watching it.
I wasn't overly rotted, actually. I was kind of like, I was watching, but I was just like, he walks right up to Jess and he's just like, thank you. And then her face is just like,
so annoyed. She does not want him to be there. She's like, fuck you. You need to go home. And he's just like, thanks for letting me play veto. You should have backdoored me.
Right. And then he realizes he won $5,000.
So good. There's also, okay, it also seems like this season, there's a lot more cash prizes. Like, this isn't the first $5,000 game that they've played.
Maybe they were listening to us when we were like, guys, what the fuck? How come the US gets all this money and Canada's getting the shaft?
So instead
clearly
of
it was from
up,
us.
They heard our podcast last season.
Obviously.
And knew.
Yeah.
Figured.
Right.
But like,
all the good ideas.
Maybe bump up the grand prize, because it's $750 in the US now and it's still $100 here.
I know, right?
Throw it out there. But yeah, he won an extra $5,000. And then speaking of, we touched on this in our like Facebook chat that we have, but remember at the beginning of the season, the new twist this season was going to be every survivor of the block got to pick between the top 3 doors. Remember how like Kevin was the first nominee who stayed, who didn't go home on finale night or on fucking eviction night.
Yeah.
So he got to pick between doors like 1, 2, and 3 after the nomination ceremony.
Oh yeah.
And there were cash prizes. And then we were all speculating, like, maybe it's not always going to be a prize. Maybe sometimes it's going to be a punishment. Like, you know, it could be a bunch of things. We haven't seen that since the first time.
That day. Yeah. Only with Kevin.
So
that was so weird.
I don't know if it's something that they just like, they're only doing sometimes. Maybe they stopped doing it. The other thing I was wondering is, are they doing it anyway, but we're not seeing it because there is so much actually going on in TV, like in the game, that they can't fit it into their hour segment. That could be. Right. So that's kind of one thing I've been wondering, but I'm like, where'd that go? Like, bring that back. Yeah.
We were interested. We wanted to see what door numbers they were taking.
Another thing that I said too was that Herman is my absolute favorite player. I know I've said this a dozen times, because I love his looks to the camera. Like when Jess came in the pantry and he was trying to study for veto, and she was talking to him, and he was like, first of all, you can read his face. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't like you, but you could read his face. But then after the conversation was done, she gives him a hug and leaves. And he just immediately, I was like, is she even gone yet? And he's immediately looking at the camera, just like fucking rolling his eyes.
Right. Just like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Okay, Jess. Like,
go away. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you to talk to me.
yeah. And he gets up, like he dances to the camera, like he's getting that spotlight.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, I love that. Yeah, and then the Ghost Alliance, Ty and Summer try to get Jess to put up Helena. She thinks about it and then tells Helena that that's what she's gonna do, and that she's in a siblings alliance with the other girls. And Helena's like, "Oh, well, don't put me up." So
right.
Jess is like, good point. Maybe I won't put you up. I think this is where people said she's Kyle 2.0, because she's back and forth. Like whoever's last in her ear seems to be the person that she listens to.
Yeah.
Right. She debates putting up Tanisha. We don't know what she's gonna do. She tells Kevin. And I mean, Kevin, he knows it would be smarter for her to put up Helena, but Helena is Kevin's number one. So he convinces her to put up Tanisha because it's a safe bet. Moose will definitely go home. I don't know that Moose goes home against Tanisha.
It's hard to say because I feel like we haven't really gotten to see a whole lot of her.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like she's always kind of like a little bit of a side character to whatever else is happening,
I
but
think
not really the show.
yeah, I think she's considered a dangerous character because she's like in a good position. Like her and Josh and Summer all seem to have good social games. Not just that they're social, but that everybody seems to like them.
Yes, yeah.
And those are dangerous players because those are the ones that like, well, I'm not going to vote to send you home because I enjoy being around you. We don't have a beef. You're not coming after me. I'm not coming after you. I could probably beat you, whatever. Like, they're social. It's a social game.
Mm-hmm.
There's physical aspects, but it's very much a social game. So, I definitely think Tanisha's dangerous, but Moose is dangerous for that same reason.
Yeah. And the fact that he's very good at talking his way around things.
Which is why I'm nervous.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Tanisha could go.
He could easily talk his way off of the block, more or less.
Yeah, I think so
Yeah.
too. One note that I did skip over.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you love Herman dancing his way off the block? He's like, I danced my way on the block and now I'm going to dance my way. And he twerked. Oh God, I was so happy. I was like, this is wicked. And Jess is just sat scowling, like, because that was what she was so mad about in the first place. Is that
which is why he did it.
Yeah, I love it.
And she, like, at some point she has to realize that, like, she's got to stop letting somebody have that much rule over her emotions. Like,
unreal, yeah.
Right? Like, yes, he's doing this to piss you off. If you don't realize that by now, but you're the only person who can get over that.
You're letting it piss you off. Like exactly. You have, we are, what is it we say? We're fucking, I don't remember, whatever percentage of things that happen to us, but like we control how we react.
Exactly.
So, let him dance his way off the block. Sit there and laugh with him.
Yeah. Clap.
Yeah. So yeah, who do you think goes home between Tanisha and Moose?
I think it's going to be a very difficult week for everybody in that house.
I know. I honestly, I would like to see Moose go over Tanisha because Tanisha is one, like my top three are Herman, Summer, and Tanisha. I do think they're playing fabulous games. But Moose is in there too. Like he's not my top three, but he's like my top four. So
I like him.
I lean more toward Tanisha, but at the same time, I think Moose is a better. If I was in the house, I'd send Moose home because he's won more competitions, hasn't he?
Right.
I feel like he did. Didn't he take himself off the block?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Kyle's week. So Moose, for me, would be the one to go home for that reason because they're both social players.
Yeah, and I mean the other side of it is that, it's easy enough for us to say on the outside too that yeah, he can talk his way out of most things, but not everybody can see that
Mhm.
from inside the house. So they don't have that perspective the way that we do.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So unless somebody's caught on to it, in which case
Well,
maybe.
Kyle did, and he's gone.
Well, and look what happened there. Yeah.
Right?
So, I mean, I think that he should be the one to go. The problem is I do think that he could easily talk his way off the block, and it could be that Tanisha ends up going.
Yeah.
Anyway, right?
Right now, it's a coin
It's a
toss.
toss up.
It's a
Coin toss, yeah.
coin toss.
Definitely a toss up for sure.
All right, predictions. Who wins HOH this week?
I think it depends on the kind of competition it's going to be.
Pull it out of the air. Who's going to win? Who do you want to win?
Oh, that doesn't make it any difference whatsoever. I suspect that maybe this week it'll be Herman again.
I was just going to say, I would love nothing more than to see Herman come off the block and then win HOH. Now, the thing that we need to consider, what the fuck is the chain of safety double eviction? Because they said that, they announced that right at the end. They said, tune in, Thursday night, tomorrow, for the chain of safety for the first time ever, chain of safety double eviction. So I'm like, okay, double. What the fuck is a chain of safety?
What is that? It's definitely going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited for tomorrow. Okay. Here's my predictions. Herman wins the first HOH for the double. Nominates Jess and fuck. This is hard. He definitely nominates Jess.
Yeah, because he just doesn't like her.
Betty?
Maybe
Jess and Betty, or Jess and Helena. Probably Jess and Helena.
Because he's not really working with her.
Yeah. And then Moose wins the veto. I'm just pulling things out of my ass now. Moose wins the veto. No, Moose has gone home. Oh shit, maybe that's foreshadowing. Maybe I just predicted something. If Tanisha goes home, I'm buying a lottery ticket because I've got some kind of intuition. Okay, so Moose doesn't win the veto. Marty wins the veto. The same. Jess goes home. And then Summer wins HOH. I'm just pulling stuff out of my ass now at this point. I have no idea. Go down.
If there's cute boys involved, she's not going to win.
Who, Summer? You think she gets distracted by cute boys? Well, yeah. Jed at the thing. Yeah, she was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. She's like, "I went back to his door like 7 times."
Can we please talk about when Moose opened up Anthony's door? I was like, "That boy is thick." That was my favorite thing ever. Like, so good.
It was so great. Yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, okay. It was too good. I fucking love this show. Okay. Next up, we talked about double eviction. Just 2 more predictions, not predictions, but sentences, I guess. Who do we like and who do we not like? Like, who's your top 3?
I love Marty.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
I love Marty.
Marty's good.
I like Josh. I still don't like Herman. But honestly, game wise and not personally, I do really like Kevin. I think that he might annoy me in person. I'm not 100% sure I get along with him, but game wise, I do like him.
Okay. With that being said, I have to throw out a huge apology.
Oh God.
Because season 9, Josh from season 9 drove me bananas.
Yeah.
And you remember that because we had conversations and I was like, I just need Josh to go home. I don't care. I just need him to go home. He's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And you remember I said, I was like, I don't think that we would ever get along in real life.
Right.
So we had him on the pod last week or whenever the last time we recorded. And he is becoming one of my absolute favorite people to like follow, to listen to his opinions on life and Big Brother and whatever. Like he's just one of my favorite like influencers.
Yeah.
Influencers right now. Like I think he's hilarious and I don't know how I was annoyed by him.
Yeah, but I think that again, part of that was editing. And the other part of that was that I fully believe, and we've said this afterwards anyway, and I think we even said it to Tina at one point, like he went from being in full isolation by himself to a house full of people and just didn't know how to make that transition. That's a huge thing, right? On your mental health.
Apparently the Big Brother house in itself is a lot of emotions. Like the first couple of weeks. You remember, was it season 7? And Kara like immediately got like named as like a really emotional player and then ended up going on the block every single week because they just like couldn't get a handle on themselves the very first week.
Yep.
And they said then that, you know, it's a huge adjustment. So like, absolutely, like in his defense, but I just think that it's so funny that like he drove me so crazy and it really does have me questioning all of the people who drive me nuts. Like me and Jess, 3 of us could end up going out and having a beer with Tina next summer when they're all out of the house, like, or this summer. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe she's not and Herman, maybe you'll end up being best friends with Herman.
Probably. And that's the thing, right? Like, so I think like we already know that there's so much editing happening there. You're not seeing everything. Like you see the most important parts, I guess. And unless you're watching every single second of the day, then you're not really getting a full.
That's hard to do too. Cause I swear to God, every time I turn on, cause I'm trying to watch the live feeds and every time I turn on the live feeds, it's down. It's just always down.
Is it?
Like,
oh, okay.
It's very hard for me to even get because I'm like, I'll be eating my lunch or something. I'm like, oh, I'll turn on the live feeds and see what the Big Brother house is up to. And it's like, sorry, feeds are down. I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit here and wait all day for him to come back up. Yeah. Like I have shit to do. But I don't know. I don't know how people even get onto the live feeds because every time I turn it on, they're down.
I don't understand. I'm like, how people have time to consistently just watch the live feeds. I'm just like, do you have a job or anything
else? I was hoping it would become my background noise because I always listen to The Office. So I was like, oh, I'll turn on live feeds. But every time I'm like, I'm not just going to sit here with nothing. I go back and I watch The Office. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, so you like Josh and Kevin? Marty.
And Kevin. Yeah, I like Kevin too.
Okay. You know mine.
I actually am surprised by myself that I don't I'm not overly drawn to any of the females in the house.
Yeah, well, you know what? For me, it would be like I do like Summer and I do like Tanisha.
Mm-hmm.
But now Summer for me is more, I like the game I do enjoy watching her. Mm-hmm. I like the game she's playing socially. I would prefer if she won some more competitions, but I'm number one rooting for her to win so that I can win money.
Yeah, fair.
Tanisha, I think, is just very wise in the house. Mm-hmm. I think she's like the Tina of the season. Like she sits back, she listens, she takes in a lot of information, and she doesn't leak a lot of information.
I was actually thinking that about Josh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like, same thing. He's got all kinds of information on people, right? Mm-hmm. So
yeah.
You know, they're definitely in good positions in the house. So yeah, those girls I like. But yeah, I think Herman's just my number one. He's just my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I might like him in person more so, but the way that things are edited, I'm not enjoying his.
You're not buying a car off him. You're not buying what he's
selling.
No. Who is your least favorite? So who do we not like? Is it Herman?
I don't think so. here's the funny thing.
This is just like last year. We always like the opposite.
Kevin might be my favorite and my least favorite simultaneously.
Really? Because it's hard to
Maybe.
watch, like his personality.
Yeah, a little bit. But who am I thinking of now? No, Herman might be probably there too as
Really?
well. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. I'm
Who else
watching it.
is left?
How does anybody not like him? I think he's got such great charisma.
Oh, he definitely does. You can see why he's a salesperson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you have
Maybe
to
that's
have
why I
that.
like him too, because like salespeople stick together. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but you're a different salesperson. Like I don't find like when for you, I don't maybe it's because I know you personally, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I don't find you're full of shit is what I'm trying to say.
Very true. Thank you for that. So anybody who's
Right?
listening, if you need to buy or sell a house,
Right?
not full of
Melissa
shit.
is not full of shit, which
Not
is
full
a
of shit.
really great thing to have in a salesperson. I appreciate people who are trying to honestly sell me something and not honestly make money.
Trick you. Yeah, not trick you into
It has to be in the best
buying.
interest of both parties of this transaction, as far as I'm concerned, when you're
Yeah.
trying to sell something to somebody. Maybe that's was part of my downfall when I was in real estate. I don't know. But I think he gives me the vibe that he would sell you whatever he had to get his commission. And
Gotcha.
that's what I don't like about him.
Yeah. Okay. I can
Right?
feel that. I get those vibes. Totally get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't care if you need this car. I want you to get this car because like I need to keep that top 5 in Canada
Exactly.
record. Yeah.
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 I gotcha. Okay, so he's your most or least favorite. And I think for me it's just and I think it's just because
Oh, Jess is there too.
the anger, like the poor me shit, because
Yeah.
I don't vibe with that ever.
No, me either.
And I'm not great with unhappy people. I'm just I'll comfort you if you're unhappy, and I'm always a voice, like I'm all or an ear, like I'll always listen.
Yeah.
But at some point you have to stop the pity party and do something.
Take some responsibility.
You know what I mean? Like get up and try to make changes. So like I'm here, but I'm also like limited.
And well,
I'm gonna listen to.
the thing about it is that it feels like she's so different from the bio that was put out there. Like when I watched the bio video, like she seemed like she's very bright and vibrant and
Yeah.
like out there and totally embraces the weirdness that she has, and you know what I mean, which is like I can totally get on board with that. But this person that I'm seeing in the house is not that person.
And maybe too that comes down to being outcasted.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? Because like the game of Big Brother, it is a social game. It's very
Mhm.
clicky. It's very high school. So,
Yeah.
like people are going to start gelling with like-minded people. And if you're
Yeah.
different in any way, then you kind of get like kind of pushed a little bit to the side. And now all of a sudden, like she's been saying, she's on an island. So,
Mhm.
maybe a lot of this anger that we're seeing or that we feel or we think we feel, and the pity party and everything is coming from her feeling that isolation, like her feeling
Yeah.
like, and maybe it's the way everybody treats her. Maybe it's how she's allowing herself to be treated, because that's another thing too. Like, you can't sit in the corner and expect people to come over to you all the time and ask how you're doing,
No.
but at the same time, yeah, maybe there are times when you walk into a room and somebody else walks out of it because they're uncomfortable or because you just don't gel right. So, a lot of it is probably coming from that too. Because I also agree, like her bio was very like life and positivity and good energy and happiness and meditation and like I got all those same vibes too. And that's definitely not what is being portrayed inside the house, but I wonder how much of that is like
Actually attributed to the house itself.
yeah, she could be in survival mode. She could be
Yep.
in like, I'm angry, this is not what I wanted, like I can't thrive in here because the house is toxic.
Well, and maybe it's again, words purely conjecture, obviously, but like maybe a lot of it is that she's finding that when she tries to, as she said to her mom, put that olive branch out, people, you're just stomping it into the ground. So like,
Yeah.
because even when she was having conversations with him in the beginning, she was trying to make little jokes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And he just wasn't picking up what she was laying down.
Too is that I think a lot of it, and it's probably why she does feel outcasted. She's a very stern person.
Right. The way that she delivers things.
Yeah, her personality is very dry and it's very stern, and he's more goofball. He's like, to me, you couldn't get two more different people. And I feel like they were cast on purpose to not like each other, because she's very stern and holds herself in like a certain kind of demeanor that's very serious. Whereas like with Herman, everything kind of seems like a joke and it's like goofier. And like that doesn't always gel. She's trying to be serious and give him an olive branch, and he's probably laughing or whatever, and she doesn't like that, and he doesn't like her, and so I get it for sure. But yeah, no, she's at this point, and it's not even that she's my least favorite. She's my least favorite who I feel like I probably wouldn't get along with her. And I don't like the anger that I think is coming from her.
Right.
That's why she's my least favorite. I don't think she has a bad game going on. I think she could potentially be a strong game player. She needs to stop telling everybody her next move.
Yeah.
Right.
Stop telling everybody all of her lines is.
Yeah. And she needs to find a way to fake it better. You don't need to like any of these people. You can hate every single one. Get in the diary room and tell me about how much you hate every single one of them. But smile to their face, because it's a social game. And you work people over. And that's one thing that I think she's forgetting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like there's nothing wrong with you being honest, but it's kind of like one of those things where we say it all the time with every season. Everybody goes in and they have this whole mindset of, oh, I just want to play with integrity. Well, that's great, but that's not the game that we're in here.
You didn't sign up for fucking Kumbaya. You signed up for Big Brother.
Exactly.
It's a game. Play with integrity and win.
One person is going to get to the end and win $100,000. And if you keep telling people the truth about every single thing and not trying to actually play, you're not going to get there. So
you have
to but
in the game.
Yep. Now for me, I would never be able to win because I am an awful liar.
See, I think that's where I would have trouble. Terrible. I think I'd have trouble there too, because like I would have to rely on my social game, and I'd have
my face would tell it every time.
Yeah. I'd leave a lot of rooms. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to put you up. And then like, I'd have to turn immediately because I'd probably start smiling.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not going to put you up. Stop it. Or I'd be that person who goes, yeah, of course I'm going to put you up. But I really am. Yeah. But I say it like that so that
sarcastic tone, so that it kind of puts you off a little bit.
And then you go up and I'm like, oh, I told you.
Yeah.
I'm playing with integrity.
But I didn't believe you. Well, that's on you.
Sounds
like a you problem.
Josh's words. That's a you problem.
Yeah. That's a you problem.
Okay. On that note, we've been talking for an hour. It is now 10:30. Our bedtimes were an hour ago.
Yes, indeed.
If you're still listening, you've been listening this long, please give us like a 5-star review on the pod. Subscribe to our YouTube page. Leave us a little comment. Send us an email. Follow us on Insta. Anyway, and also tune into Just a Podcast from the Res, because Kiefer does these episodes on Thursday nights after the evictions, and I very much look forward to them on Friday mornings. Kiefer will do like the chat he'll have old house guests on and talk about the eviction and their predictions, and similar to what we're doing. Yes. And only I'm sure he has a lot more viewers. But if you're listening to us, give him a listen too, because it's really good inside information from somebody who lives in the house. And it's good stuff. So.
And we love Kiefer.
We love Kiefer. Kiefer is awesome. So on that note, you ready to dance out?
I am.